All right, all right, all right. I am live. I am live. Hello, good people. Hello, good people. It's Lily here of YB Limited. That's the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited. And you can find me on all social media platforms, including this one. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell just in case I go live and you miss something, because we do a nightly show that's streamed on this channel as well called On the Block with Jen. On the Block with Jen. Okay. And we do a live nightly show. It's a panel talk show where we cover some very provocative topics. Okay. And we always invite you all to come in and share and rebut and do whatever you feel is necessary if you feel like we're not doing any of the topics justice. Okay. But today, I am going to go ahead and turn my music on because I got a request from a really, really good friend of mine who wanted to know how to make her makeup pop, right? Because, like, right now, we're doing a lot of self-taping. We're doing a lot of Zoom meetings. We're doing virtual podcasts and things like that. And to be honest, everybody ain't got it like that to be going out and get a makeup artist every time you got to get in front of a camera. So it's best that you learn how to do it yourself. So I'm going to teach you a few tricks. We're starting from scratch. We started from the beginning. And I'm going to do the full look. Tonight I'm going live on the show because we go live every night except Sundays, okay? So I'll be going live tonight. I'm going to do my full look for tonight. All right? You ready to go? Let's do it. First thing I always like to do is start with eyes. Eyes are essentially like the most important part because like people's attention really is going to go to your eyes and your lips. Okay, so eyes and lips are very, very important. And then you can kind of just do an abracadabra in the middle. All right. Boom. So what I always like to do is prime my eyelids because I have oily eyelids. But what's weird is I hate eyeshadow primer. I don't use that under any circumstances. But what I use, which is really weird, this is one of my tricks. I'm giving away my tricks. It is a liquid matte lipstick. Any liquid matte lipstick will do. I tend to go for this by Ruby Kiss. It's inexpensive. It's like $2 with inflation, about $3.50. And I like the way it dries. It dries really fast. And it's really simple. So I just get a liquid matte lipstick, something that's going to be either toward the color I'm going to use or something that's neutral. This is rather neutral, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and use this today. Okay. First thing I do is I go ahead and coat my eyelid with it. I usually do one eyelid at a time because, like I said, this dries fast. I'm using my hands and my fingers. That is my favorite makeup tool. I really only use brushes for powdery substances. I'm just saying, not those type of powdery substances, the type that we do on our face. Not judging. Definitely not judging. Okay? So, gonna go ahead and blend that in. You see, it's really neutral. You really can't see much. And if you want to, you can actually wear this as an eyeshadow. Like you could wear a liquid matte lipstick as an eyeshadow. I do that sometimes when I'm cheating. Okay. Go ahead and do the coat this eyelid as well. All right, boom. All righty. Then while that sits and settles and gets to know my skin, like I said, I like to use this because what this is going to do is going to do a couple of things. It's going to make sure that eyeshadow stays on your eye all day, as well as making sure that the eyeshadow pops. Okay, it gives it something like a soft landing, something to sit on. All right. Next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is my liner. The liner is super important, especially the underliner for this occasion. Like when I'm going on a podcast, which is our show, or anything like that, I want to make sure I use products that are going to kind of stand out, because what people don't know is that these cameras, they actually mute makeup. Okay, a lot of people don't know that they mute things. They mute like eyelashes. They actually mute your eyebrows and just certain colors. So you kind of got to put a little bit more than you typically will put on, okay? With this eyelid, let's see. I'm gonna do it like this so y'all can see it better. I usually pull the eyelid down. I know people are scared of this part, but honestly, it's easier when someone else does their own eye. You know, when I was doing makeup for a living, there were times that I would have clients that just, it was so difficult to allow them to relinquish their eye control, right? So you know what I would do, girl? Take this and do it yourself, and then I'll finish the rest of your face. And sometimes I had to do that at work. My mom, one of them people. You go near her eye, she start doing. I'm like, girl, it ain't that deep. I only do this every day at the time. I only do this every day. I still do it every day for me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, stop. So it's funny. All right, boom. Next thing I'm gonna do is my brows. Okay. So I like to take a little comb, okay, or you can take any type of spoolie that you may have. I'm trying to see if I have an example of a spoolie. Yes, I do. Take like a spoolie, something like that. Okay, this is got eye brow gel on it, so we're gonna use that too, but in a second. I'm just gonna use a simple pencil. I like a pencil. The pencils that I really love is coming in the mail, so maybe by the next video I'll be able to show you that. Okay. And what I usually typically do is I start at the tail end toward the bottom, and I follow my brow bone. Your brow bone is right. You can feel it. I like to just go with that shape. And I press down a little bit harder towards the tail end because it can be darker towards the tail end. But as I go in, back toward the center of my face, I get lighter and lighter. You see I'm moving with the hair. I am barely touching this, like touching my skin. Okay? Barely touching my skin. And this way, this eyebrows, they bring shape to your face. Very important when you're on a podcast because you want things to look symmetrical. So I'm not going to concentrate too much on brows on this video because that's not what it's about. This one, I want to show you how to really make the face pop. Okay? And then you remember that the eyebrow gel I just showed you? We're going to go back to her and go ahead and put that gel on. Just swoop it through. Should be enough on there for this one. It is. Okay. Okay, so it takes away that fake look. It makes it look more natural, but you do want it to look a little less natural, a little bit darker than normal when you're about to do these type of situations. Okay. Next, I'm going to do my eyes. All right, now this is the part where you're going to want to pay attention. Okay. Now, the transitional color is what I'm going to start with first. That's usually what I always start with. Lately, one of my favorite transitional colors to use is a blush that I've been using. It doesn't really matter if it says blush or if it says eyeshadow. They're the same things. Hate to ruin it, okay? They sold you the same thing twice, all right? All it is some pigmented powder that's pressed. That's eyeshadow or that could be blush. I'm using this one as my transitional color because it shows up kind of bright on my skin, which really looks good. And so for people of color, for like black people, like a mauve color, a purple, something with a blushy tone, like any of these tones that are on like this blush right here, depending on like how dark or how light you are. So like if you're darker, you'll go towards this as a transitional color. If you're lighter, you'll go towards something more like that. like the pinker ones, you know, they peachies if you're lighter. They're really good transitional colors. Okay, so I'm just going with my brush, tap, and I always start out on the outer part of the eye and work my way in. I literally dump the color right here. I dump it right there. And I hold my brush really light. Like I don't put a lot of pressure on it. And I just, in circular motions, move on into the center of the eye and then kind of go back and forth. Okay. And then I drag it out very light, very gentle. I drag it out just a little bit. Out and up. Out and up. You want everything to go up. It's like doing a facelift, right? So you want everything to kind of go up. You see how that's looking? Kind of go back in a little bit more. Okay. We're going to start there for transition. You see how it's already popping and I haven't even finished yet? You can see it's bringing attention to my eyes. Okay. Same thing here. Dump that color. And where I'm going is in between that crease of my eye. Okay. That middle crease part. In circular motions. Just really like go in, come back. Okay. Kind of go back and forth. And then with whatever's left over, you're going to drag it out and up. You see how I'm just kind of feathering it out? Because I don't want it to look too pronounced. Because later I'm going to come back and go over it with something else. Okay? That's done on both sides. See how that looks? That's done on both sides. All right. Boom. Next thing I like to do is add a little bit of black towards the outer part of my eye. That is going to bring depth, dimension, and shape to my eye. Okay? So I'm going to dip a fluffy brush, a different brush, into the black. Tap it off. Okay? Now I'm going to go like slightly underneath where I did the transitional color towards the tail end of my eye. Okay? But it's going to be towards like by the lid. I'm going to dump that color down right there. Okay. And I'm using that transitional color as a guide. Okay. Dump that color right there. And then I'm going to, just like how I brought the last color in, I'm going to gently feather that in to right about here. Okay. Like 3/4 or like a quarter way in to the center of my eye. Okay. Same thing with the other side. Dump it there. The edge. Okay. Because you're using the transitional color that's already there. You're kind of going a little bit on top of that. But you see how a little bit is peeking out right there? You'll see why in a second. And then you spring it on in. Just a quarter way in. Because this is going to add shape, depth, and dimension to your eye. Okay? From there, I will take a more dense brush. This brush is more dense. You see? This brush is more dense. And I'm going to take this and kind of blend it in. So I'm blending in that black with that transitional color. But you notice I'm only going a quarter way in. Same thing on this side. Okay. Only going a quarter way in. That's all I need to do. All right. Might want to add a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit more on this side. There we go. I'm going to be even. Okay. See how that already looks like my face already done? Okay. That's what you're going for. Then I'm going to take more of, let's see, flat brush. Okay, this is more of a flat brush, a flat dense brush. And I'm going to use more of like a gold color today. Listen, golds always pop out on people of color. Always. All right. So if you're a person of color and you're trying to figure out which one to use like a gold. And I like to use shimmers. When I want my face to pop, I want to use shimmers. So I have a palette here. Most of these colors are shimmers. Okay, they're not glitters, but glitters work as well. Only thing is, if you're not like a professional, stay away from the glitters because glitter is like the herpes of the art world. Okay, she don't like to go away. So I'm gonna spray my brush with a little bit of setting spray. You can use water if you don't have setting spray. It is okay. You just want to damp the brush. You don't want the brush dripping wet with water. That's not what you're looking for. Okay. And then you're going to go into your gold shimmer palette or just a shimmer palette. Make it something bright, something metallic. That always draws attention. Pinks always really work good as well. Pinks, mauves, golds, silver. If you can, some people prefer silver, some people prefer gold. All of those work really good. Okay. And I'm just going to go on the lid. I'm pressing down into the lid. Okay, you're just going to concentrate that color on the lid. Okay, same thing on the other side. And you don't want to cover that whole lid because you want to leave some of that black towards the tail end. You can cover a little bit of the black if it went too far in, like that side, did. That's why I wait till after I do the black to do my lid, just in case I need to cover some of the black. Okay. All right. Next, I like to use my primer to make sure my makeup stays on all day. You don't have to use primer. For me, it's just that something I'm used to doing. Okay. So I'm going to put the primer on first. Because now makeup tends to come with primer. Boom. Okay, got that primer on. All right. The other thing is I have different foundations in my shade. Some are light coverage, some are medium coverage, and some are full coverage. Okay. Today I'm going to do a full coverage look. So I'm actually going to kind of use two different foundations to make that happen. So first I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me. I don't like this by itself anymore because they changed the formula and it's a little too drying. But the foundation I'm going to put on top of it is going to actually bring back some type of moisture to it. So it'll all balance each other out. But I'm going to use two different foundations today. Okay, sometimes you can mix the foundations in together before you put it on your face. But today I'm going to put one on top of the other to go for a full coverage look. Because one foundation does one thing and the other one does something else that I like. I just like this one as a good base because it's matte. So it's just going to kind of sit there and stay put. And I like the coverage that it gives too. Okay. And then I like doing eyes first because if there's any fallout from the eyeshadow, you can go ahead and get that off your face before you get started with doing the rest of your makeup. It's just much easier that way, just in case, especially when you do use glitters and things like that, because glitter is just like, oh my god, the fallout from glitter is so annoying. I can't stand using glitter as a makeup artist. I really don't like it at all. When a client would ask for it, I'm just like, oh god, okay. But now they're doing better with making more glitters that are packed or pressed. But even then, they got this, like, some of them you got to be careful. You don't know if they're good until you get them, unless they have some type of display in the store. Because what happens is, some of them have this, like, Vaseline type of base at the bottom of it. So it's so weird. It's hard to explain. But any of my makeup lovers, you probably understand what I'm saying. You get it looks good, and then you get home, and it's just like, you go to press your utensil into it, and then you're like, hold up. Like, why the heck does this feel like Vaseline underneath the glitter? Yeah, I know I like to put makeup in my head because the girl is bald, and you won't have me out here looking like I'm wearing a mask. That's what you're not going to do. Okay? I'm talking about me. All right, the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Maybelline Perfector. I like this because it has like these crystals, these mica crystals that reflect with light, and it blurs imperfections in your skin. Who doesn't want that? So I'm going to go ahead and put that on top to give myself a full coverage look, or you could just buy yourself a full coverage foundation. I actually have a full coverage foundation in here. Very inexpensive. Beauty supply stores by Absolute. But the color by itself, it's just it needs a lot of work. It's kind of like a neutral undertone, so I usually gotta mix that one too. Okay, just throwing this on top because I love the way this foundation looks on camera. And there goes my full coverage situation. Next, you're going to always want to set your makeup with some type of powder. Very important. So I'm going to go ahead and use, do I have any more of this black opal powder? If not, I have more. I mean, I love black opal powder. That's probably why I probably don't have any, because I use it every day. Uh-oh. You might be out. Nope, you got enough to do this face. Okay. So, because I have oily skin, I like to press that powder into my foundation. Reason being is that it's going to give it a barrier for that oil to, like an extra barrier for that oil to come through. Because remember, I'm doing this for tonight, which means I'm going to have this makeup on all freaking day. It'll be on for like 12 hours, okay? And it's going to look the exact same until I decide to take it off. All right. Yeah. So it makes sure that makeup sits in place. From here, you're going to want to do a little highlighting and contouring. All right. So I use a concealer. Whatever concealer is your favorite. Actually, I'm going to use a couple because one of them I wanted to be a little bit lighter than the other. Okay. The lighter one, this is from Ulta. It's pretty light. I don't want this on my full face, but I do want it on the bridge of my nose to bring more shape when I go to contour my nose. I'm concentrating just a bridge, and you'll see why later. It'll all make sense, I promise. Make sure this line is straight, or your nose will look crooked. Okay. Then I just put a couple of dots of concealer on my chin, my Cupid's bow. Because even if you don't have a Cupid's bow, if it's not pronounced, it'll bring it out. Okay. And then I just go ahead and blend that in with my finger, concentrating all of the color towards the center of my face. This is also a full coverage foundation. I usually don't do all of this full coverage, but when I want my makeup to look really like smooth and good, and it also looks natural once it's done. I'm trying to talk and do the lip at the same time. Don't judge. Okay. I always do eyes last because once you do those eyes, you want to make sure you set it with a powder right away to avoid creasing. You don't play around with them eyes, y'all. Do not play. Look up when you go underneath your eye. Otherwise, it will crease and it will actually aid you. But by looking up while doing your eye, that actually takes away age. Just like that facelift. You always want to go up. Okay? Always want to go up. Making sure I don't go into my eyeshadow too much. But if you made any mistakes with eyeshadow, this is the time to cover it up with this concealer. Concealer is makeup's eraser. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. It's just makeup. Okay? It comes off. Next, you're going to want to set this. If you want something that's just like boom, boom, I recommend this Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder. Okay? Or you can use a translucent powder. I'm going to go ahead and use the Maybelline today. Just to prove a point. Alright. Just going to use a little sponge here because like I said with powders, I tend to start using actual utensils. Okay. I hit those eyes first. Now this particular color, let's see, maybe a little lighter because I think I ran out of the one that's actually for my shade. I'm using a couple of shades lighter than my skin. You notice I hit the side of my nose a little bit? That's going to all make sense when I shape out my nose. So I'm really going over everywhere that I put the concealer at to highlight the center of my face. Because you see, by highlighting the center of my face, it's going to bring out the shape of my face. Okay. Same thing with the Cupid's bow. As well as my chin area. I'm not going to add any more color for my forehead. I'm just going to use whatever residue is on the sponge. Put it on my forehead. Okay. Because for some reason that forehead is hard to blend in. So I don't want too much product up there. And as we age, we don't want too much product on our forehead because it just brings attention to any fine lines that may be there. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right. Now I'm going to go in and start to carve in the shape and the contours of my face. Okay. I'm going to use two different colors to do that. One is about 2 shades lighter, darker than my skin. Oops, is this reflecting? And the other is like 3 shades darker than my skin. The one that is 2 shades darker than my skin, I'm going to go around the entire perimeter of my face. So which means underneath that highlight color. Okay. All around the perimeters. Just go around the perimeters. I'm going to include my bald head. So y'all can go ahead and skip this if you're not bald. Or if you're planning on putting on a wig, whatever. To save you some product. See, I got to use a lot of product because I got to make sure everything blends in. I just will not be having it. Okay. So you see I did all of the areas that I did not do with the highlight color. Because what this is going to do is slim out my face. Okay. I'm also with that same color, I'm going to take this brush right here that has like this skinny situation. And I'm going to carve in my nose job. Okay. So I'm going to dip my brush and I'm going to go down the sides of my nose and make it a little bit keener, a little bit skinnier. I like the ability of changing the shape of my nose, but not permanently, and get my original nose back every night when I wash my face. I like that. I love it actually, because I love my nose. It's just that I'm an artist and I like to change stuff, but I don't want to be committed to a nose job. So you see I'm carving in the shape of my nose the way I want it. Okay, then I'm going to actually take this contour up into my eye a little bit, to this top crease. With the same brush. I don't have to do the full eye, just that top crease. Now with the other powder that's 3 shades darker, I'm taking a different brush and I'm going to raise my cheekbones. I'm going to pinch this. You can either pinch this brush like this, or you can use a brush that already has this particular shape. See, it has like a slope. Okay. I can't find my other one. I've been using that one for blush. So I'm just going to pinch. Okay. And I'm going to go in the hollows of my cheeks to raise them. So this shape is already here. I'm just bringing more attention to it. Mind you, it may scare you a bit in person, but you see how it's coming out on camera. It doesn't look abnormal, especially once you blend it in. Okay, just because I'm bald, you can skip that. You don't have to do the jawline, but if you want to, you can. So that same color underneath the jaw, if you want. Okay, you can skip that if you like. And then from there, I'm just going to just dust off any excess highlight powder I have, because I kind of pack it on there. Because your skin is only going to take what it needs, and then it's just going to let the rest fall off. So we're just going to go ahead and take it off. Okay. Now you see that this highlight color is bright. Okay. It's brighter than I would normally wear it. So what I'm going to do is take that color that's about 2 shades darker, and I'm going to help blend in the rest with that color. So I've already been over this part of the face with this color. But now what I'm going to do is, see, I'm not adding anything new to it. I'm not adding any new product because it doesn't really need it. I'm just going to blend it in with that brush because it has enough product to bring those colors together, okay? Next, I'm going to take my blush brush, okay? As long as it's fluffy. And I'm going to go into 1 or 2 of these colors. I'm just going to choose these 2. Okay. Tap off your brush. You don't want too much blush powder on. I always start with the apples of my cheeks. And I lightly feather that color back up on my actual cheekbone. But then I put a little bit on my contour. I blend it in with my contour too, because they're supposed to be complementary. Your highlight's supposed to be at the top. your blush right underneath, your contour right under that, but they all are supposed to blend together, like so. None of the colors are supposed to stand out. They're supposed to work together in harmony. They're like an ecosystem of makeup. Makeup has ecosystems, according to me. Bookalili. Okay. Now what that does is that brings shape and dimension to your cheeks. Brings those cheeks out, right? All right, the next thing I would like to do is go underneath my eye and put a little shadow underneath there, okay? Now, with that being said, two of the colors that I would recommend for a personal color would be either a bright blue or a bright purple. All right, I'm going to do a brighter purple today. So I would either do this color or this color. Today I'm going to do this color. And I'm just going to go underneath that black with this purple. Well, like I said, you could use a bright blue. Either way, it might sound crazy, but it actually works really, really good. No matter how dark or how light you are, these two colors are perfect for underneath the eye. And it brings out your eye color as well. So like you see, I used, hold on, we'll go into that in a second. I'll go into that in a second. Okay. And just in the corners of the eye, you're going to take that same black eyeshadow that we used earlier and just hit the corners of the eye. Kind of smudge it out. You see why? You see the difference between this eye and this eye? You see it's going up. Everything is going up. So I come in about a quarter of the way into my eye. And now we are ready to spray our face with some setting spray. This is going to take away all of that powdery look. Because when it comes to makeup, you know, I use a lot of powders and stuff like that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take away that powdery look. And seal in our makeup. I like to saturate the face. And boom. There we have it. Now, from here, what I would like to do is go ahead and line my lips with a nice liner. But I'm going to use a liquid matte lipstick today. Okay? This is a chocolate brown. And I don't want too much product on this brush here. And I'm just going to go around the perimeter. I like to overdraw a little bit. But you don't have to do that. That's just me. That's a personal thing. Because like I said, I like to bring attention to my lips and my eyes. If you're a person that's like, child, my lips are already full enough. I don't need all that. Mine are too. But it just pop. It just pop when you do it this way. Just saying. Making sure it's even so I don't have a crooked lip like Bobby Brown. The shade. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with a more nude color because I'm into my nudes. And then blend it in. I feather it out towards the liner. I can leave it just like this, or I can just go ahead and put my gloss on top. I love me some gloss. Isn't that fun? All right. Now, lastly, I'm going to go in with my highlighter, my gold shimmer right here from Black Radiance. I'm going to hit the highest part of my cheekbone, the highest point. Same thing here. Okay. Underneath my brow bone, the top of my brow bone. I'm not adding any other color for the top of the brow bone. Underneath and that top. Voila. And if you want to get extra cute, you can take some mascara and do your bottom lid. Or your bottom lashes. Did I say bottom lid? And boom. There you have it. Oh, on Fridays and Saturdays, I like to wear wigs on the show. So I will be wearing a wig tonight. I will be wearing her. Okay. Okay, how does this wig work, child? The only thing about freaking wigs is wearing wigs when I got gloss on. Because I'm so not used to hair. Uh-oh. Mama is ready. I'm ready to get on and talk shit tonight. Right. Ow. Boom. All right. So there you have it. This is a good full coverage makeup look for anything virtual podcast or anything like that you want it to pop, but you still want to look natural and neutral. You don't want to look like I don't know, Love and Hip Hop contestant or something. I don't know. But with that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and catch us every night except Sunday nights on The Block with Jen. You can go over there and subscribe to our channel over there. We cover every topic that you can think of, provocative topics. We are the most honest and balanced show out there, okay? So with that being said, until next time, always remember to ask yourself, what? Why be limited? Bye-bye.